Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds, I'm Nerdarchy Steve. Today I'm hanging out with this nerd.
Nerdarchy Ted. How you doing this fine and lovely evening, sir?
Doing great. I'm ready to talk about some Scion of the Three, Rogue subclass for the Forgotten Realms for Unearthed Arcana 2025. Become a gruesome agent of malice. A Scion of the Three draws power from a group of malevolent gods known as the Dead Three. Bane, deity of tyranny; Bhaal, deity of violence and murder; Myrkul, deity of death. While some rogues of this subclass pledge themselves ardently to those three macabre gods, others find themselves thrust on the path by a curse. Either way, a Scion's power manifests as various occult gifts, as well as an uncanny talent for striking and terrifying foes. Scions of the Three are most common in Baldur's Gate, where the Dead Three have long competed for influence over mortal hearts. Underground cults of Bane, Bhaal, and Myrkul often count Scions of the Three among their most useful agents. Outside of Baldur's Gate, secular thieves guilds such as the Shadow Thieves or Xanathar's Guild in Waterdeep might cautiously call on a Scion of the Three to undertake an especially violent contract.
So I felt this one spoke just as powerfully to me as the Ranger subclass that we talked about previously, but here it's building upon the aspect of a solid class of rogue. So this is another one in this whole Unearthed Arcana that I'm like, I am down for this. Tell me more, please.
Yeah, it doesn't feel very heroic though.
True, but of the classes in D&D, rogue is one that I feel very easily leans towards the aspect of the non-hero, the other being warlock, of course. But when I look at this one, like, it gives you the buy-in right in that narrative description of, well, you don't necessarily have to be working with the Dead Three. Maybe you've got some kind of curse. Some malice has affected you for you to gain.
You've been cursed. You're really good at killing people now.
So, like, I like that they spread out some options to give it like, okay, well, we're gonna do this. So let's dive into some abilities. Level 3, you're gonna get Bloodthirst. If your sneak attack hits a bloodied creature, the target takes extra damage of the weapon's type equal to half your rogue level. In addition, when an enemy you can see is reduced to 0 hit points, you can take a reaction to teleport to an unoccupied space you can see within 30 feet of yourself. You can then make one melee attack. You use this reaction number of times equal to your intelligence modifier, minimum once, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest.
So, yeah, we're starting off really strong. You're doing extra damage, especially when things are injured. That ability to use reaction to teleport an attack is super sweet, especially if it happens on someone else's turn, because now you can sneak attack again.
Yeah. So all in all, this is incredibly powerful as a third level ability. It gives you utility of moving around the battlefield, getting the ability to shell out extra damage, and I'm all for it. Like,
also, we're also using the bloody condition too, right? Which is something that is ported over from 4th edition into the 2024 rule set. So it's just kind of cool. I mean, and I feel like our group, even though we haven't played 4th edition in forever, still use that term oftentimes just because it's really easy for players and the DM to convey information with one word. It's bloodied. So, but we're not done for 3rd level. You also get Dread Allegiance. Choose one of the Dead Three, Bane, Bhaal, or Myrkul. Gain resistance to one type of damage and the ability to cast a cantrip as detailed in the table below. Intelligence is your spellcasting ability, and when you finish a long rest, you change your choice. So you have options. Bane is psychic and gives you minor illusion. Bhaal, poison and blade ward. Myrkul, necrotic and chill touch.
So all in all, two of the rarer types of damage. If you go to Bhaal, like, all right, you're gonna get resistance to poison damage. There's a couple of races that you definitely don't want to be choosing that. But then minor illusion, blade ward, and chill touch are some interesting things. All in all, I think Bhaal is probably your weaker choice amongst the three.
Well, I mean, poison damage comes up fairly often, but you get the weaker cantrip. Unless they've improved Blade Ward from the previous iteration, the trade-off is, well, poison and fire are like the most two common damage types you're going to encounter. So I would say that that would be your reason for taking it, because you're going to get a lot of use out of it. Oh yeah, Blade Ward lasts a minute now. It is way better.
It's way minute and a concentration, and you take a D4 off the attack.
Yes, so that's way better than before. It was you cast it last a round and it's resistance. Where you the resistance is better, but also you're just using your action to cast it, so you're not really doing anything but soaking damage.
Right.
So yeah, so I would say I don't think that's the weakest choice.
Okay. Well,
Plus, also well, minor illusion is nice for utility, but as a rogue, you want to use weapons because that's your bread and butter. That's where you're doing your damage.
sure.
Chill touch is going to be there's nothing next to a sneak attack.
That is true, but it's also ranged.
It's ranged.
So 9th level, you're going to get Strike Fear. You get the following Cunning Strike options. Terrify, it costs a d6. The target must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw where it has a frightened condition for a minute. Frightened target repeats the save at the end of each of its turns. So it's an extra thing that you can do with your Cunning Strike. And if you're not familiar with the 2024 versions, you basically can sacrifice 1d6 of your sneak attack pool to cause the terrify in your strike. So I'm really fond of the cunning strike options of the rogue, giving them a little bit more versatility with what they do. And I love that the fact of subclasses being able to give even more options.
Yeah, it's definitely very, very cool. So level 13, Aura of Malevolence. You radiate malignant power associated with one of the dead three. Start of each of your turns. Each creature of your choice within 10-foot emanation originating from you takes damage equal to your intelligence modifier. Minimum 1, the damage type is the same as damage resistance granted by your choice in the Dread Allegiance feature. Damage dealt by the aura ignores resistance. The aura is inactive while you have the incapacitated condition, so it's just another way to do damage. Like, you're just doing so much damage with this subclass.
And we're going to top this off with level 17, Dread Incarnate. You gain the following benefits. Battle Tyrant. You have advantage on attack rolls against any creature with a frightened condition. Murderous Intent. When you roll for your sneak attack damage, you can treat any roll of a 1 or a 2 on the die as a 3. So that means every sneak attack die does a 3 to 6, not a 1.
So that's an improvement. Also, if other people in your party can also make things afraid, when you make things afraid, advantage. And also that means also now it's easier for you to get sneak attacks off because of that. Not that it's particularly hard to get a sneak attack as a rogue to begin with, but it just got easier.
Yep. It's like, oh, well, you're frightened, so therefore sneak. Sneaky.
All the sneaks. So I mean, this is a strong subclass being slapped on top of one of the strongest character classes in the game.
Completely agree.
No complaints there. Matter of fact, I think I like this one better than the assassin for a murdery subclass, to be honest with you. I just think you got some fun things to do. Thanks for hanging out with us, and until next time.
Stay nerdy.